In the modern world, it's tempting to believe geography no longer matters. Satellites orbit the Earth. Drones can strike targets thousands of kilometers away. Information travels instantly through fiber optic cables and wireless networks. On the surface, it feels as though technology has erased distance. A business executive in London can manage operations in Singapore. A military commander can observe battlefields from a control room thousands of miles away. But beneath this technological illusion lies a stubborn truth. Geography still shapes power. Mountains still block armies. Oceans still separate continents. Natural resources still determine economic leverage. Despite drones, missiles, and satellites, the physical map of the Earth continues to determine the boundaries of global politics. To understand geopolitics, you must first understand geography. Every nation operates within a physical environment that limits what it can and cannot do. Mountains can protect borders. Rivers can enable trade. Coastlines can turn nations into maritime powers. These geographic realities influence how countries develop economically, militarily, and politically. Take Russia, for example. Much of Russia lies on the vast North European plain, a flat landscape that stretches across Eastern Europe with few natural defensive barriers. Because of this geography, Russia has historically faced repeated invasions, from Napoleon in 1812 to Nazi Germany during the Second World War. This vulnerability shaped Russian strategic thinking for centuries. Instead of relying on natural borders, Russian leaders pursued strategic depth, expanding territory outward to create buffers against potential invasions. Geography didn't just influence Russian policy, it defined it. Even in the 21st century, this geographic vulnerability still shapes how Russia perceives security and alliances in Europe. Mountains are among the most powerful geopolitical features on Earth. They can act as natural fortresses, separating civilizations for centuries. Consider the Himalayas. Stretching across South Asia, they form one of the most formidable natural barriers on the planet. For thousands of years, the Himalayas limited contact between the Indian subcontinent and the civilizations of East Asia. Even today, these mountains shape relations between two of the world's largest powers, India and China. Despite satellites and surveillance technology, the terrain itself remains a strategic challenge. High altitudes limit troop movement, extreme weather complicates logistics, and narrow mountain passes become critical strategic choke points. In geopolitics, control of these passages can determine the balance of power. The mountains have not disappeared, technology has not erased them, and their influence continues to shape diplomacy and military strategy. If mountains protect nations, oceans connect them, but oceans are not empty space. They contain strategic gateways known as maritime choke points. These narrow waterways control the flow of global trade. One of the most important examples is the Strait of Malacca. This narrow passage between Malaysia and Indonesia connects the Indian Ocean with the Pacific. Roughly 1/4 of the world's traded goods pass through it. Energy shipments from the Middle East heading to East Asia depend heavily on this route. If this choke point were disrupted, global supply chains would feel the shock almost immediately. Another critical gateway is the Strait of Hormuz. A significant portion of the world's oil exports travels through this narrow channel. This makes it one of the most strategically sensitive waterways on Earth. Despite modern technology, ships still need to physically move through these routes. The world economy still depends on geography. And these narrow passages remain geopolitical pressure points. Geography also determines where critical resources are located: energy reserves, mineral deposits, agricultural land. These physical assets often shape international competition. Consider rare earth elements. These minerals are essential for modern technology, smartphones, electric vehicles, and advanced military systems. But they are not evenly distributed across the planet. Certain countries possess disproportionately large reserves. Control over these resources can provide economic leverage and geopolitical influence. Similarly, oil and gas deposits have shaped alliances, conflicts, and strategic relationships for decades. Even renewable energy technologies depend on geographic resources like lithium, cobalt, and copper. The location of these materials creates new geopolitical dynamics. Technology evolves, but the geography of resources remains decisive. Understanding geopolitics is not just about memorizing conflicts or alliances. It's about learning how to interpret the world map. Why do some nations become maritime powers while others remain landlocked? Why do certain regions experience repeated geopolitical tensions? Why do major trade routes follow specific patterns? These questions can only be answered through the study of geography and strategy together. And this is exactly what modern geopolitics education focuses on. If you want to truly understand how global power operates, you need to look beyond headlines and examine the geographic foundations behind world events. That is why many professionals, from journalists to policy analysts, study geopolitics formally. One accessible way to begin is through the Diploma in Geopolitics offered by Elearn College. The program explores how geography, resources, economics, and strategic thinking combine to shape global politics. It's designed to help learners understand international conflicts, trade dynamics, and power structures through a geopolitical lens. The course can be completed online at your own pace, allowing students and professionals to study whenever it suits them. For anyone interested in international affairs, diplomacy, or global strategy, it provides a structured introduction to the forces shaping world events. Because once you learn how to read the map, the news begins to make far more sense. Some analysts once believed that digital technology would eliminate the importance of geography. The internet seemed borderless. Satellite communication seemed instantaneous. But over time, the opposite has become clear. Technology actually depends on geography. Undersea internet cables still run across the ocean floor. Data centers require physical locations. Space launch facilities depend on geographic positioning. Even cyber infrastructure has geographic anchors. The global network that powers modern communication is built upon physical routes and locations, and those routes are vulnerable. A damaged cable, a blocked strait, or a disrupted shipping lane can ripple across the global economy. Technology did not erase geography, it made it even more important. The world may appear more connected than ever before. Satellites orbit overhead. Drones patrol distant skies. Digital networks link continents in seconds. Yet beneath this technological layer, the ancient logic of geography remains. Mountains still guard borders. Rivers still shape trade routes. Oceans still determine maritime power. And narrow choke points still control the flow of global commerce. The map has not lost its power. If anything, it has become more important. Because in a world of advanced technology, the nations that understand geography best often hold the greatest strategic advantage. Geography is not just a subject taught in school. It is the foundation upon which global politics is built.